Hi, this is Sam Russell for wheelchairworks.com. Today we're going to be covering a tire or tube replacement on a manual wheelchair. You are going to need a way to inflate your tire and tube, as well as 2 to 3 tire levers. First, let out the air. There are 2 common valve stems found on wheelchairs. The first is the Schrader valve. To deflate this type, remove the cap and depress the center pin. The other type of valve is called a Presta valve. To deflate this valve, unscrew the small nut on the top of the valve and then depress it. With the air removed from the tire and tube, start working the tire all the way around, back and forth to break the bead off of the rim. Sometimes if the tire's been on a while, it can be pretty stuck. With the bead loose all the way around, use your tire levers. Find a place opposite the valve stem to insert your first tire lever. Be gentle and try not to get the tube as you're pulling the tire lever back. A few inches away from that tire lever, insert a second tire lever to start popping the bead free from the rim. Here's a little better view of what's going on. Insert your tire lever into the bead and pry upward gently, hooking the tire lever on the spoke. Then move a few inches down the bead and insert your second tire lever. It can be pretty tight, so be careful and be gentle. Then slip the other tire lever in and pry it up as well. With your tire levers inserted, you should be able to slide one of them around the bead and pop the inside bead of the tire loose. If it's still too tight, you may use a third tire lever to pry in and then use the center tire lever to pry on the outside again and pop it free. With it free, then the outside bead of the tire should pop loose with just a pull of the hand. Once again, if it's too tight, you can use a tire lever at this point. You should notice where the valve is in relation to the tire and go ahead and pull the tube out of the tire for inspection. It may be stuck in, just like this one is, or it may just flop right out. It's now time to reinstall your tube. We're going to start by inflating the tube. We just need a little bit of air so that the tube has some shape. This will help it from being pinched when you install it in the tire. Once your tube has some shape, it's a good time to give it a quick inspection. Make sure you don't see any holes or hear any hissing or feel any air as you run your hand around the tube. Next, it's time to grab your tire. It's a great time to do a quick inspection here as well. Check the sidewall and the inside of the tire for any cuts or burrs or anything that may be sticking through that may cause you a puncture down the road. Carefully sliding your fingers inside the tire is a good way to check when visually it's hard to sometimes. Next, insert the tube into the tire. We're going to start by putting the valve next to the label if the tire has one. This will help us down the line deciding where a puncture is if you should have one. Just slip the tube into the tire. It should stay in place pretty well once you get it in because we've pre-inflated the tube. Okay, set it aside and grab your wheel so that we can do a quick inspection on the rim. Make sure none of the spoke holes are exposed and make sure there's no sharp burrs or anything that was going to cause us a flat down the line. Okay, it's time to install the tire. Go ahead and start by slipping the valve through the valve hole with the label, if you have one, out facing toward the outside of the wheel. Slip the outer bead of the tire on all the way around using your thumbs. Once you've got that done, slowly feed the tube up in between the tire and the rim so that it fits up inside where it will be when the tire is fully installed. We need it up in there to keep it from being pinched when we install the bead on the inner side. Once the tube looks like it's in place, start at the valve once again. and press the bead on slowly, working from both sides. At the very end, it may be tight enough that you'll have to use a tire lever, but if you can, avoid doing this and just press it on with your thumbs. This one's pretty snug, and it will just take a quick slip of the tire lever to get it on there all the way. Okay, we're ready to do a quick last tire bead inspection on both sides, and then we're ready for air. Go ahead and slowly inflate your tire. Once the tire is inflated, we're going to do a last inspection of the bead on both sides. Make sure everything looks like it's in good shape. Thank you for visiting wheelchairworks.com.